Former President Barack Obama is speaking out about political violence in the wake of the murder of Charlie Kirk and pleading for leaders to lead, saying, quote, regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, what happened to Charlie Kirk was horrific and a tragedy. The former president also raised concerns over the escalating threat of more violence.
You knew it was coming, and it finally came. Barack Hussein Obama, the fake Democrat, the well-spoken Democrat. And of course, he rolled out the same polished lines, tragedy, unity, democracy. But let's be honest, we all know it wasn't sincere, and it was just politics. Here's what he had to say, or a bit, I should say, of what he had to say when he spoke at the Jefferson Educational Society in Erie, Pennsylvania.
We are certainly at an inflection point, not just around political violence, but there are a host of larger trends that we have to be concerned about. I think it is important for us at the outset to acknowledge that political violence is not new. It has happened at certain periods in our history. But it is something that it is anathema to what it means to be a democratic country. And regardless of where you are on the political spectrum, what happened to Charlie Kirk was horrific and a tragedy. What happened, as you mentioned, to the state legislators in Minnesota, that is horrific. It is a tragedy. And there are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The central premise of our democratic system is that we have to be able to disagree and have sometimes really contentious debates without resort to violence. Obviously, I didn't know Charlie Kirk. I was generally aware of some of his ideas. I think those ideas were wrong. But that doesn't negate the fact that what happened was a tragedy and that I mourn for him and his family. He's a young man with 2 small children and a wife who obviously, and a huge number of friends and supporters who cared about him. And so we have to extend grace to people during their period of mourning and shock.
Look, bottom line is this was not sincere. It was not coming from his heart or his mind. It was coming from a Democrat playbook. They all say the same thing over and over again when tragedy strikes. And this time, even though they know the shooter was some liberal lunatic who became an extremist by listening to liberal propaganda, that he chose to take the life of an innocent man simply for his beliefs. This is Barack Obama telling you we should all be calm. We should have open debate. We should be able to debate. But he could care less, okay? No Democrat sitting in office today cares one bit that some lunatic with a rifle killed Charlie Kirk. Obama should have called out the violence and condemned it. Enough is enough. We need to stop the political violence on both sides of the aisle. But he didn't. He just kept going on in typical Barack Obama fashion because, quite frankly, he could care less that a conservative man's life was ended. Barack Obama has always been, nothing but a fake. He's a great speaker. He has a way of connecting with people That's why so many liberals believe every word he says, because he actually does come off sincere. But if you see what's happening right now in this country, especially after Charlie's assassination, no Democrat is saying this is unbelievable, this should have never happened, we need to sit down, we need to stop this violence. They only talk about gun violence when some lunatic shoots up a school and it happens to be a transgender shooter. Then they want to stop guns, because if that transgender shooter didn't have access to a firearm, the innocent children would have been saved. I haven't heard one person yet talk about firearms. We got to ban them. We got to continue this fight. Oh, no. They only said it after the latest shooting at the Catholic school and church by the transgender shooter. This time, it was a long gun, an older rifle with a scope, and this kid took one shot and killed an innocent man. And not one Democrat in Congress has started their preaching about we need to stop guns, we need more gun control. None of them. Because it doesn't fit what they've always trying to do. They praised the community where this transgender shooter lived, and Tim Walz is doing such a great job, and the mayor of Minneapolis was doing such a great job, but it was the gun that went to that church and killed those innocent people. It wasn't the mentally ill transgender person. This has got to be one of the sickest things I've ever seen. This man was the president of the United States for 8 years. Charlie Kirk was 31 years old. And again, he always spoke of his beliefs. He wanted open debate, open conversation. He wanted to listen to someone's views and then give his views. But many, many, many people on the left are calling everything Charlie said hate speech, hateful rhetoric. And some of them actually said he deserved what he got for all the bad things he says. So he was a true believer in Jesus Christ. Apparently to liberals, that's a bad thing. He was against abortion, and that's his right. But the liberals disagree with that too. Charlie Kirk could have cured cancer being a Christian man, and the left would have had a problem with that. And that's the hypocrisy of Barack Obama getting on a stage, probably with an audience full of liberals, and preaching to us how it needs to be stopped. We need open debate. But I didn't agree with Charlie Kirk's beliefs. So he didn't care. He had to say something because, number one, Obama never saw a microphone he didn't like. And number two, he has to stay relevant because he's the guy all the failing Democrats go to when they're in crisis. And we all know that party's in serious crisis right now. So if anybody actually believes any words that came out of Obama's mouth, shame on you. Because you saw him in the White House for 8 years, and he preached to us for 8 years. But people need to remember, Barack Obama, in my opinion, started the anti-police movement. He started the divide between races, because as far as I'm concerned, Barack and Michelle Obama are racist. Oh, and no, don't forget, Michelle Obama, who lives in an $11 million mansion in Martha's Vineyard, she's oppressed. Don't forget that. These people started this mess, and they wanted Hillary Clinton to continue it, but President Trump put a stop to that. So the Democrats will go on and continue to lie. They had a memorial at the Congressional building, I believe. Only a handful of Democrats showed up. They wanted to say a prayer for Charlie on the House floor. The Democrats lost their minds. How dare you pray for Charlie Kirk? he was racist, he was hateful, he was a fascist, and all the other crap that they speak. These people are evil. Democrats right now and those in Congress are in such a dark place that they need an awakening. They need to all sit down and do some serious soul searching, because they'll tell you they're sad, but inside they're celebrating because a strong, conservative young man with a young family who millions of people adored and listened to was killed by a left-wing lunatic. And that is what the Democrats want. They don't want peace. They never will want peace. All they are is the violent party who love their peaceful protests while their protesters are burning down communities and attacking innocent people. Barack Obama needs to go away, him and his oppressed wife, and go do something with the millions and millions of dollars they've made since they left the White House. No one cares what he has to say, especially conservatives who believe that our country is headed in the right direction because President Trump is doing what he campaigned on, and he's making this country safe again. And Democrats hate it. They hate it, so that's why they're always going to fall on Obama, because he is the ultimate Democrat healer.